Today we continue our efforts to build a prediction model with a display in Streamlit. Today we are going to work on getData.py file, which will be responsible for data gathering and saving in our project folder. And also we'll start working on the main Streamlit application file code, the Streamlit app.py. As you can see, I placed here the CSV file with the list of standard and pool 500 stocks. I will share the link for the repository of this project in the description to this video. Now let's start with the coding. We start with imports. Import pandas std, import Yahoo Finance SYF, and import OS. We are importing inbuilt operation system library for Python because we are going to work with files and folders. Let's determine the root of the project. In our case, it will be prediction models file. So we are announcing as base directory, which was have your name, have their name, this have absolute path. That's our comment file. So what we did here, we determined the base directory of the project, so all file paths can be relative to the root. This is the technique we are using when we are working on a project with multiple files and folders. Before we didn't use it because, well, we were using only the single file, or here we were using one folder only. Okay. Next, we are going to load our S&P 500 file. CSV file will be file path will be equal to os path join base directory file P 500 stocks CSV. We announced the file path to the S&P 500 stocks, which contains a list of our stocks. SP 500 stocks equals to pandas read CSV from CSV file path. So here we are asking to use the pandas to read the file which we provided path earlier and save the list of the stocks. Now, excuse me, when we defined all of this, we need also to define where our data will be stored. We have specific folder named data, so this we should mention to the code to save all the stock file information, like one file per one stock for the financial data. So in future, our models will be able to work with it. Now, data directory is OS, path, join, base directory, and folder data. And OS make directories, data directory, and we need to provide one more option, which you can see here highlighted. If exists, it should be okay. So overwriting exist okay equals to true. Check if we went from somewhere here. Now with all this ready, we are ready to write a method which will download our stock data. Dev download stock data. Inputs will be symbol, start date will be 2021-01-01, and date will be, let's have the last day of the last month, which we passed, 08/31. Try stock data. This is the thing that we are used to do already. Yahoo Finance, download, symbol, start date equals start date and equals end date. We are asking here to download from Yahoo Finance for the symbol with the start date equals to this, end date equals to this. Why we are starting with 2021? Because basically it's useful to have data for as long as possible, but as the 2020 was the COVID year and there were like many anomalies, we want to avoid the impact of it to our code and calculations. We got the stock data. Now stock data to CSV. We need to save all the data for each of the stocks in a separate CSV file to later provide that files to models to train them. OS, path, join, data directory, and with fstring, symbol, CSV. So what this will do, it will create it will create folder with the file, it will create files in a folder of data directory, which was announced above, declared above, with the name of each stock symbol as a file name and CSV as an extension. And now we want to check if the stock data for a particular file was saved properly. Print successfully download data for symbol. And if this will not work, except exception SE print fail download data for symbol. Now we have a method which will go and check if the stock data for provided symbol with the start date and end date range is available. If it is available, this will save the data to CSV file with the stock name on it. Next, we are going through the loop to do the same procedure which we did here, which we included in the method for all the stocks. For symbol in SP 500 stocks column symbol download stock data for symbol. Okay. Before moving forward, let's open the file to see what we are talking about. You can see here that there are many columns in there. This is not only the list of the stocks, but some supplementary information as well. So here we're asking to do the gathering of the stock in a column symbol. And this line of the code will go over the file, SP500 stocks file, and in the symbol column we'll go over each of the symbols and try to download the stock data for it. Now we are done with our data acquisition file. We can check what we did once more at high level. We are fetching the historical data for all the files, saving the data in CSV file, one per stock symbol, and overall we can say that this is probably the data fetching pipeline, where our code will be providing the fetched data to the models, linear regression, neural network, and random forest to train them. And let's leave the file. Let's go to the Streamlit file and start coding of it. We will do initial part of it and we will finalize it in our next session tomorrow. For this we will need Streamlit because we are going to display it. We will need NumPy, a library for handling arrays and mathematical operations. Pandas, we know what it is, for data format. Import finance, that's yeah. Import plotly graph objects as graph objects. Import This is the Python library to save and load Python objects for save or loading models in our case. For it OS, we will be working with folders, and from datetime import datetime time delta. Let's install this module while inputs from sklearn pre-processing import min max scaler. These are the attributes for our models to work properly. sklearn is the library which is basically needed for data pre-processing for models. Min-max scaler here is a normalization tool used to scale features in a specific range. Also, we are going to introduce a couple of new terms for understanding. sklearn metrics, import mean absolute error, mean squared error from TensorFlow class models, import load model. So the load model here is to load for neural networks pre-trained Keras models. Those are terms specific to models. We will cover them in their appropriate code. But mean absolute error and mean squared error. Each of the models will provide a prediction, but the prediction value comes with the attribute, which are mean absolute error and mean squared error. So those are the deviations from prediction price. Like if the prediction price is 10 and mean absolute error is 1, it means that the highest probability of the stock price is to be in range from 9 to 11, 1 before prediction value and 1 after. So mean absolute error is this. Also, there is a term for mean squared error, which is the squared number. So if again predicted value is 10 and mean squared error is 4, it means that the most probably value will be in a range of 10 plus or minus square root of the MSE. We will call them by abbreviation MAE, mean absolute error, and MSE as mean squared error. Now let's import these libraries. Don't get scared if some of the attributes of this won't load properly. This sometimes happens. For example, for Keras, it's really difficult to find a module of Python which is not like showing as if something is wrong, but it's not blocking the execution of our script. And we have here some typo. Okay, we're good. Let's also create something in the code of the Streamlit API partial. We are going to load the S&P 500 stock list. We are going to calculate moving averages. Basically, this is the thing that we covered in SMA, moving averages tasks for 50 days, 200 days, 5, 8, and 13 days. So we will just calculate them. And we later will introduce the dataset for prediction. I'll cover this as we'll get to it. Let's now load 500 stock list. Again, our base directory is equals to os path rename as path to rename absolute path for file CSV file path equals to os join base directory SP 500 stocks CSV and SP 500 stocks will be pandas with CSV file path. So basically this is the same as we did for get data code in our scripts. And next we're going to calculate the moving averages. Method calculate moving averages for data and window size. These are two parameters that we're providing to a method for a given stock price data. Now it will have to return to us data rolling window equal to size and this is the same that we already faced in the SMA files. The rolling window, we will provide window size later on, and me for calculating the moving averages. And last part of the day, we are going to create data sets. For that, we will create another method, create dataset, data equal to 100 x y. Let me finish the code and I'll go line by line over it. And for E in range data back and data empty y x empty y y. So we are preparing here the data for training our machine learning models. Lookback equals to 100. This will be the model looking back 100 time steps, like 100 days of stock data, to make a prediction for the next day or next time step. X, it will be our previous 100 days of stock prices. Sorry, I got it wrong. Now loop here will iterate over the data and create sliding window of X as input and Y as output, where X will be the previous 100 days of a stock price and Y will be the stock price of 101st day. So basically next day we are going to predict. And as a return, it returns the arrays of X's and Y's, and that's what we're going to process to models. Now, overall for Streamlit application today, we covered a little part of it. We will go over it during the next lesson. As I told, again, not to worry about this. This won't impact the code, just sometimes Python doesn't recognize it properly, but it doesn't block us to get the code executed. We are going to load stock file. We are going to calculate the moving averages to show stock trends, and we're going to create a data sets in a file to provide this to the models of calculation. This concludes our today's session, and we already did to get data file which will get the stock information, and we have our first part of Streamlit application. We hopefully will finalize the Streamlit application code tomorrow. Stay tuned and get back to the channel tomorrow to see the completion video of the Streamlit app. Thank you for your time. Enjoy your day. Bye bye.